No, you're not saying action.
Do you want us to do the clap?
Yes.
Do you want us to do the clapping? Okay, so
Take one. And I think let's start with a huge round of applause for the matriculants of 2025. Yay! Basebenzile abantwana, basebenzile. But like we said, over 900,000 students wrote the matric. 760,000 matriculants passed, of which 350,000 got their bachelor pass, with my baby being one of those. But there's no placement. There's no placement. Most of them are right now sitting on waiting lists, with most hoping that they will be accepted either at TVET colleges or whenever those waiting lists decide to do the things that has to happen. But like the Dalai Lama said, we need to be the change that we want to see. And with that being said, welcome to episode 2 of Boss Beginnings with BI, where we have real careers about real journeys and conversations that build the boss in you. In studio, I've got my friend Katlego. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good, good. And we're going to talk about alternatives that are there.
Yeah.
When it comes to matric. You did matric many years ago, too.
Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell people that. I just want you to introduce yourself.
So my name is Katlego Makwati.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of my journey, matric was many moons, as you said. And to be honest with you, I never had a I want to be when I grow up, because I've got a restless mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided not to commit to a degree immediately after matric.
Okay.
And then I didn't take a gap year, but I went to NGI, where I did marketing for 2 years.
Okay, that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting, because then it speaks to what we spoke about last week in that a gap year is sometimes seen as people wanting to fall off. But I like what you're saying about the restless mind.
Yeah.
Maybe take us through what you mean by that.
Because our system is so rigid in terms of there's no formula that allows you to be flexible. So it's either you go to school or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
But what are your options if you don't? Right? And that's something South Africa is not getting right in terms of our education system, right? Yes, you can take the gap year, but what are you going to do? What are the resources there available, right? And I like what is happening now in the country, or in fact in the world, where the internet is your best friend, right? AI is your best friend, right? So we need to get into a mindset of research, right? Research and learning new things, short courses, internet, Udemy courses, right? People need to get used to learning for themselves. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. So now, you said that you did 2 years at MGI marketing. I didn't know that, Johnny.
I hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
Why?
It was Kinakulea when we were doing what was it, direct marketing, that was the thing. And I was like, this is too busy for me, right? And I get bored easily, right? So I'll get into the hype and then it dies down and then what, right? So that's my thing in terms of, that's what I was saying about the system being rigid in terms of there's no flexibility, right? And for me, I think that's what's worked for me. The commitment of a degree, yes, but I was still afraid to get bored. So my life has been all about getting the short courses down. Me, I do the short courses quick,
Okay.
you know? And that's how I get my accreditations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take us through that, those accreditations that you speak about. I want us to also be mindful of the fact that there's different qualifications, and there's also those that are accredited and those that are not. And you can keep me honest here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think for me, my exposure in terms of the accreditations and getting into higher learning was because I was in corporate already.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe let's start. Backtrack nyana.
All right.
You just matriculated, you have a restless mind, you're not sure what you want to do, you go to MGI, and you do 2 years of marketing.
Yes. I get
Then
out.
what?
I get out and I get into corporate.
Okay.
Get into a call center job.
Had you completed this marketing degree?
Yeah.
Diploma.
Yes.
Higher diploma.
Yes.
That's another option, guys. Remember, we spoke about NQF5, which I believe higher diploma is. Yes.
And then after the MGI stint, I get into Momentum. Momentum, easy job in wealth and then I took it from there.
You as the call center agent.
As a call center agent, right? So I'm building up now into the career, right? I'm exposed to everything. And you know, with corporate, you're in there for a year and then they say you can now start bursaries, learnerships and all of those things, right? I get into it. I do my financial RE, right? I do. Well, it happens. It depends where you are, right? Yeah. So I do my Momentum stint for 8 years, but in that 8 years, there's different types of learning. So all these companies are accredited. They've got financial institutions that you can learn through, right? Yeah. So you take the opportunity to decide what you want to do, right? If there's an interest, because you're in already, you get to see the different, there's compliance, there's learning and development, there's admin, there's HR. So you just find where your interest lies and then you identify a course and then proceed.
Okay. So what happens with those that are not lucky enough to go to MGI? That are not lucky enough to get a stint at a call center?
That's where the internet comes in. We've got courses now that are accredited, or you can write Udemy courses, if I can call it. There's Coursera, there's a lot of online learning that people can do. You just need access to the internet. And all you need to do, decide what you want to do. I think that's the thing. Decide what you want to do, research, get into it, and then just take it from there. There's a lot. There's there's one government portal thing that I saw. That you can.
The National School of Governance. I saw that.
Yeah. So there's courses that you can do there, right? And they are free. So people just need to research.
Okay, going back to your journey, because I mean that's what we are here to speak about, right? So after you do this stint and this qualification at Momentum, you then decide, okay, this is it, or what do you decide after that?
So I decided, well, even it wasn't even a decision, it just happened to land. I become an investment specialist, right? From the call center, I now move on to specializing in long-term investments, like your pension funds and all of that. So now that's a whole new era in terms of the learning that you need to do, right? Still, with the learning comes the responsibility of now being a client service specialist, right? So now you need to remember that you're dealing with a client. So everybody's a client at some point, right? So that's you find that you need to get into it, right? The learning, the inquiring mind. You need to be able to speak to clients, right? You need to be able to speak to admin, and you need to be able to meet the deadline, right? If Busi calls and says, I want 1, 2, 3, it must be solved in an SLA, right? So there's that urgency that comes with dealing with people's money, dealing with expectations from clients. And if you're working for a big corporate, you need to be able to upkeep that name of the place where you work.
Did you find that because of your lack of, say, a formal degree, you were surpassed for certain roles?
Not really. At the time, I would say I was at the right place at the right time because opportunities came. All you needed to do for me, all I needed to do then was give my initiative. Put your hand up to say, I want to try this. And managers will say, okay, let's give you a shot. All you have to do is use that opportunity. Like some things are your race to lose, if you get what I'm saying. In terms of the formal learning, it doesn't take away from the fact that everything is teachable, right? You can take me, for instance, and put me in your role and I see what you do 2 weeks or a month, and I would start getting the basics to say, this is the day-to-day running of what Pussy does.
So basically, it's about having a teachable spirit.
Be teachable. Be teachable.
It's very interesting because I'm sure there's somebody, some way, sitting there and saying, Lona, you had it easy.
Yeah.
It has been easy because, I mean, you find people, even with degrees, who are still unemployed to this day, right? So I don't want us to simplify it. I want us to also look at the challenges that perhaps you didn't go through, but you know of, especially getting into, I mean, financial sector, a lot of people want to get into.
Yeah.
So how difficult or is it to crack it? And even with qualifications, like I said, like if I have, say, my qualifications in audit, and I'm struggling to get into a company like the one you mentioned, what are the avenues? What can I do? How do I push myself to believe that these opportunities are available out there?
That's a tricky one because at the end of the day, everybody's looking for a job. So you are competing with somebody at some level, right? So there's no guarantee that even with the education, you are going to get, right? Even with, like, there's people that just land jobs, right? There's people that struggle, right? With the degrees. But now you have to wonder, at what point does it make sense for me to just study and wait for an opportunity? I think we need to get into a mindset of creating our own opportunities, right? It might not be what you studied for, but you have an idea of maybe the work stuff that you can do, right? Supported by extra learning, of course. To start a business, start an initiative. I don't know if it's possible with audits, with auditors or not, but you need, whichever market you're in, you need to have an idea of how it works. I think that's where we are. And I back again, research. Do your research when it comes to the avenue you want to take, right? And you might find, you study business analysis, and then you find you want to do project management. Like I was telling you, the fundamentals are the same, but the learning is different, right? In terms of the tasks, right? But you can jump. So don't be stuck in that. I want to be a project manager. I want to be a manager of something. So don't get stuck in wanting to be a title, because you can use your learning from another position to get into something else. Yeah. Like how I'm coming from investment background. I'm now in business optimization. That's two different worlds. Transferable skills.
So how did you get here?
More learning, a thing called secondment, right? My current company, I got bored again. So, and I think for me, it took being part of multiple succession plans that never pulled through. So now you're in the business, now you are the go-to person to say, if you want something, go to, she'll solve it for you. Now you get comfortable, right? Years go by. Years go by, and then you're stuck. You're stagnant. There's no more growth for you in that department or in that role, right? So what do you do next? You start where you're at. You explore the business to see where your mind is interested, and that's what I did. Coming from a background that has nothing to do with IT, data, any of that, right? I now had to relearn, upskill, get into talking to people in that space to say, what is it exactly that you do, right? Show me this. Can I sit? Can I buddy up with you? Make it formal, like with your managers and stuff, to say, I want to learn new skills, right? And take it from there. It's the easiest thing to do when you're in corporate. You just need to be aligned. Don't just go to anyone. Speak to the relevant people to say, I'm interested in what you're doing in the department. Can I get in? sit with a few people, see if you like it, and then formalize it.
Yeah.
It took me 6 months.
To get into business optimization.
Yeah.
This after being in
Legal investments.
for over
8 years.
wow.
Yeah. 8 years at the other company, 10 years at my other company.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a long time.
Yeah.
So I would say that it was the hunger,
Yes.
it was the boredom.
I like
Oh,
that.
the boredom. Yes,
It will keep you busy.
It will keep you busy.
It will keep you busy.
True.
Stay bored so that you grow. Because if you stay stagnant, then nothing happens.
I like
right?
that.
Nothing's going to happen.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's quite clear in terms of how you shaped your own future. And I suppose you're still doing that now. You say that it's been 6 months into this new role. Where do you see yourself? And I like that you're saying it's business optimization, which means automation,
Yeah.
which means you're talking now to the future.
Yeah. Now we are in AI. Now we are living AI, right? You work hand in hand with AI.
I was having AI.
I was
You
having
got AI. You're talking to
Use it to build yourself.
Yeah.
You build yourself with whatever resource there is. If something else comes up, use it to make your life easier. Use it to make yourself relevant.
Use it
And
as a
get-
buddy.
Get anything you want.
I love that. I love that very much. I think I'm inspired, and I'm hoping that it has been an inspirational conversation to everybody that's listening. So, actually, I'm really inspired about how you pushed your way into corporate, and I think to some, it might look like it was easy. I'll tell you a bit about how I got into corporate and ended up where I am now. So when I was doing my second year, I failed a major and at Pretoria Tech or TUT. When you fail a major, you have to repeat it. You can't do your internship. But luckily at the time, I was already on the campus radio station. So I had made connections, and therefore I was able to speak to my people and push my way in. There was a PR agency called maybe are we supposed to make? We can. I mean, these are companies that started us up, So I went to there's a lady that I knew, Barkitu Mingemani, shout out, and Tumi worked for PR Powerhouse, FCV Red Light at the time. Yes. And she gave me her boss's number because obviously she can't get me in.
Yeah.
She's also working there as an account executive. She gave me her boss's number, a gentleman called Mark Sora, if I'm pronouncing the name right.
Yeah.
So I called Mark, told Mark about myself, and I would love to come in and do a bit of what they do. I'm a student, this guy, I think by the end of week 2, because I called him almost every day.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, no, we don't have anything. This is around about January 2007. Every day, I made sure when I get to the studio, I call.
I'm broke.
I'm broke. Yeah, get come block. I get 0 and 2.
Okay. Back in those days.
0 and 2. So it's like, actually, I don't have anything for you right now. However, you can come in and see what we do for a week. I'm not going to pay you. This is incentive.
So they're traveling.
So I speak to my mom. My mom is like, okay, cool, we'll organize something. Sharpo. I then start going to FCB.
Yeah.
And then when I get to FCB, that's where I met the likes of the legendary PR Powerhouse. Legends in the PR space. I worked with them for 2 weeks. Just as a runner, basically just seeing what they do, getting media clips, media monitoring, checking out the systems, answering phone calls. Luckily, after the 2 weeks, Marcus was like, okay, you know what? I'll give you a 1-year contract.
Oh, nice.
Like, okay, great.
Running around.
That's real. Then he gave me a 1-year contract, and that's how I got into PR and media relations, as you would know it by now.
Yeah.
So I believe and understand your story about pushing and weaving your way in. I spoke to Lebone last week about Sheryl Sandberg, the famous CEO of Meta, who said it's not a ladder, it's a jungle gym. this career thing is not a ladder, it's a jungle gym. So I understand what it means to push. And I think to young people, that's the kind of, I would like to say guts.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, I would like to say confidence. Because I didn't have to call the guy every day. I mean, at some point I probably felt,
And he didn't even have to answer.
he didn't have to answer.
Yeah.
But because of the determination he probably heard in my voice, he decided to give me a chance. And I got in there and I ran. You know, I got in there, I ran, and he gave me a contract. You know, and I think that's the kind of hunger we now lack, or that's the hunger we need from young people out there.
Friend, it's a tricky one because there's an expectation that things will come, right? You need to be patient. You need to wait things out. But the way life is set up now, you can't wait. All you need is an opportunity, right? But that opportunity you have to fight for. You are fighting with how many people?
900 and something thousand who voted 670.
That is just from last year.
Yeah.
Imagine from when we
Yeah.
how many people have left behind, right? In terms of opportunity, you have to make your own. Honestly, you have to make your own. At some point, we as a nation, as across all borders, we have to look outside of the box. Actually burn the box. Think. Look at what is available. Use it. If you have to call. If you have to tweet or inbox, just be like, do something.
When you're talking about tweeting and inboxing, I'm sure a lot of the people that are held in very high regard right now, if they were to go back to their Facebook and LinkedIn, they would see me
Send
stalking
us
them there.
screenshots.
I used to send friends
Screenshots and show us what Busi has been doing to you guys.
back then, plus it was new with social media.
Yeah.
I used to send, my name is, I'm looking for, I used to do that like religiously.
That's what I
Because
did.
I felt like, what else have I got to lose?
I did the same thing, except I'm also very shy, right? At work. So getting into speaking to those people that hold the keys to certain doors, I had to suck it up. I really had to suck it up and introduce myself to say, hey man, my name is, I sit on this, I go to this menko, I am this, I can do this. Give me a chance. They'll drag their feet because they are already there. So they don't see how, they don't
The urgency.
they don't see the urgency. But if you are there, like, guys, I'm here, I'm use me.
Okay. So I like how we speaking about the whole pushing. And one thing I've also realized about our kids is, and I'm not saying everybody out there, but we have an era of children who are very entitled.
And lazy.
I keep thinking lazy children. They're entitled. I think they're entitled, and therefore, but I went to school, so they must come to me. How do we break that?
It's a matter of choice at this point, friend. Everybody is hungry, right? Everybody is hungry. We are competing with 50-year-olds. We are competing with 18-year-olds. It's your choice. At this point, this is your race to lose, And I think maybe that's something that's not taught in school, right? I don't know if it can be, but kids need to realize that it's a jungle. A jungle gym, as you say. We are our own worst enemy when it comes to doing things for ourselves. Yeah. We really need to get out of that mindset for, okay, I've got the papers and then what? Yeah, who's supposed to solve for this? You said you wanted to do it. Hey, but this check, why is follow? Again, use it. If it's not what you want to do, do something else. There's no set stone. How create a degree, humanities. You can't go and do your art, or you can't go do whatever. Think, burn the box. Now, when I just think out, burn the box.
I like that.
Burn the box.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that careers and jobs evolve
All the time.
we need to be the people that evolve.
All the time.
A new type of thing can come outside of AI, right? Yaba nursing something else. Probably a new development that will change the way health is carried out, right? We need to be ready. We need to take any opportunity that comes and use it to your full advantage.
Steve Jobs said, stay hungry, stay foolish. And I live by that.
Yeah.
I think that's why, again, we are still studying. We are still upskilling ourselves because we know the importance of being relevant, moving with the times and moving with the tech. We work in a multicultural, global world right now. I mean, with hybrid work and all of that, how have you found it in your experience, having to work in a hybrid environment?
Look, I like it. I'm happy with the flexibility because you get to manage your time, right? We take 2 hours to get to work, right? That's unnecessary time on the road, right? You could be home using that time to start early and finish early and do something else. You could break down time and study, do an online course, right? It's all about time management, right? I appreciate being able to be flexible when it comes to my job because I can manage my time and I can use that time to focus on getting the education, getting stuff done, right? That's very important. You need to be able to align with the job that you want to do with the work that you need to do to get into that job. Yeah.
So, what do you say to somebody who's saying AI is going to take my job?
Why?
AI is going to take my job. Your AI is
What are you
like? It's this big. It's coming. AI. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk you're eating, ne? Or video. Use it. Be in a relationship with it. Study it. See how it can better the role that you have or the job that you are afraid to lose. Investigate. Use it to empower yourself about what it can do if it was a human to make your job better, to make your life easier, right? That's all it is. You need to use the resources that are there. AI will not take jobs, right? It will simplify jobs, I think.
It's nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I look at some of the automated systems that I use in my career. I mean, back then you would have to have an agency to write content. Right now, squash that. I can generate my own content using AI. What then do you say in situations like that?
Look, it's tricky. It's very tricky in terms of it's simplifying and it actually doing the work. You still need somebody to proofread, right? Because
then it will go crazy.
Wait again, you will see Ori.
It will hallucinate.
Grammar, everything is just a mess, right? You still need to help it think. Do the great, give you big words and all of that, but you still need to fine tune and make that
personalize it.
To make it your own.
Okay. So as you're parting shot, in fact, before you go, friend, 2 things. What is the one thing that you feel you did right or you could redo when it comes to your career?
Okay. What I would redo is maybe going to therapy and getting over my boredom. Because if I knew then what I know now, maybe I would have changed careers back then, right? So, yeah, if I could, maybe I would have committed to something earlier rather than later. But now I still feel like there's no need, right? I'll still get the accreditations I need, but I won't commit to a 7-year or a 4-year degree.
Can you give us at least some of 3 of these qualifications that you speak about?
So there's,
for somebody who's got the same issue with you, who looks at you and says, "Markata, oh, bored."
So depending on what you want to do, there's different faculties that you can look. I've done 4 courses with the Faculty Training Institute. That's more business analysis, data modeling, and the fundamentals of business analysis, things like that. So it's about what you want to do. Find an institution that's aligned to whatever course or role that you want to take on, right? Yeah.
Of the 4,
Yeah.
which one do you think? Yeah, no, this speaks to me.
The fundamentals of business analysis, because I've realized now that I can do something else, and that's something else that I'm actually exploring now to say, okay, I've got this now. Now for me to get there, I need to add on to this, and yeah.
So for people who already are in employment and are feeling stagnant, like you said, 15, 12 years into a role, how do we segue into something else? You spoke about secondment.
Yeah. So corporate is very easy. I mean, there's a culture of learning in most corporate companies, in most big companies. So use the people that are there. Connect with your HR people. Connect with learning and development, just to get a direction to say, this is what I want to do. Align with whoever is in that business unit and see where it takes you.
And to the newbies, the ones that are just got into employed and like, hey, actually, this is not what I like.
Research what you like. If you're in already, use your HR, use the people that are there, the people that know already, to get the information that you need, to give you the direction that you need, right? That's all you need to do. Town hall, engage there, because everybody's there, all the business units are there. But when the product, they but IT, but they are there. Use them.
Okay, so maybe because we're talking more like your business kind of roles, right? What about the technical ones? So what about something that needs technicals, like engineering, something that needs body IT?
I don't know. I feel like,
because no give you the engineer ngikilo khule blind go give it mara ko tsena bya ka mining.
what's that mining? You must find out. You must find out. You know people in that industry.
How do you start a degree at my big age?
Why do you want your degree?
Engineering.
Why do you want a degree? I don't have a degree in engineering, but I'm aligned with engineers now.
Okay.
Right? I don't have an engineering degree. I work with technical people. Like there's a whole team.
I must just do my research.
Yeah, do your research.
I hear you.
Do your research.
Okay, parting shots for anybody that's listening, whether it's matriculant, whether it's somebody who wants to start a career, or just loves to watch Boss Beginnings with BI.
I would say the learning never stops. It is your choice to stop, right? Everything is an opportunity, and it's how far you take it. Honestly, I'm going to sound repetitive, but it is your race to lose.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you very much, Chami.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See you in the next episode. This is Boss Beginnings.